So I recently recorded a video talking about how my backlog has gotten out of control and just touched a little bit on how I'm trying to like clean it up and how I'm buying too many games and stuff like that. And one thing that I don't think I mentioned, or maybe I have briefly glossed over it, I'm not sure. I don't think I mentioned it at all. In the previous video where I was talking about this was, I came to the realization recently, not the realization, but I guess like the okayness with being able to put it into practice. It's okay to like DNF things. And if anybody doesn't know, DNF just simply stands for did not finish, which I'm pretty sure everybody knew that, but maybe not. I didn't know what it meant until like 6 months ago. So I came to the realization that it's like that. I think that was part of the problem. And I think it's okay to DNF, not even just gaming, because I was talking about gaming specifically in that video, but I also do things like I read books, or I watch TV shows, or I'm really into movies and stuff like that. And the more that I realize my time is finite, the more I've come to realize that it's okay to not finish everything. And that's really hard for me to say, because if you're anything like me, I'm one of those people who, when I start something, I kind of want to complete it. Like if I start a game, I usually want to finish it, unless it's just straight up buns bad, like just bunzo beans. But usually if I start something and it's even moderately decent, I'm gonna see it through to the end, whether that be with games, whether that be with books, or whether that be with TV shows, or if I'm watching like a trash movie or anything like that. But like I said, more and more I've been realizing if I'm in the middle of something and I'm not enjoying it, I kind of have this moment where I'm just like, I'm not enjoying this. Or I'll stop and really sit and reflect for a minute and think to myself and ask the question, am I enjoying this? Like that's been happening more recently. I did that recently with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, for just an example of a game that I was playing. And by no means was Jedi Survivor bad. I was actually having fun with it the first like several hours, but when I took a look at all the other games that I had to play and games that I would rather play, and I just got to a certain point in that game, it may have been like the third planet. It was like a desert planet where I think you meet that witch character. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. And we had just gotten out of a sandstorm, and I found myself pausing the game, and I went to look up how much more time I had left in it, like on average, and I still had like 10 hours in the game left. And when I looked that up, I like verbally sighed to myself, and I was like, do I even care that much? Again, the game itself wasn't bad at all, but it was just one of those things where I wasn't like so into it. And like another thing that I'm kind of starting to implement more in my life is like, if it's not an emphatic yes, then it's a no. There's too many games that I want to play. There's too many movies that I want to watch. There's too many TV shows that I want to indulge in to be playing and watching things and reading things that are just kind of like, nah, to me. Not to say everything has to be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me to consume that media or that form of entertainment. I don't think that's necessarily the case also, because they're not all going to be 10s out of 10s. Sometimes you enjoy a good 7 out of 10, and it was just, oh, it was good. Probably wouldn't watch it or play it again, but it was good. But I think that number is going to continue to like decrease the more that time goes on and the older that I get, because I'm just like, man, this game isn't bad by any means, but I'd much rather be playing game X over here or reading book X over there. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it was kind of hard for me to do it, but I deleted the game and I wrote it down as a DNF, because I'm starting to like keep track of like what I'm playing and things like that to kind of help me just organize myself more. I did the same thing. This one was like a year ago, and this was one of the first instances of me doing it, and it felt very uncomfortable then as well. It almost felt wrong, like it felt unnatural for me to do this, but I was playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out a couple years back, and honestly, that was a good game too. I was enjoying it, but I fell into the trap of piling other games on top of it. And when I went back to finish the game, it was the same thing. Like all the momentum I had for the game was just gone. And I really sat there and thought, and I was like, do I even care to finish this game? I kind of got the enjoyment out of it that I was going to get. So I looked that up online too. And this is something I think I'm going to start utilizing more, and maybe it'll help you out too if you're having a hard time like DNFing things. But what I did was, because I was kind of invested in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, I was actually really invested. I wanted to see what happened to the team, and that, like, what happened to that version of the team in the game. But I didn't want to put in the time to finish playing it, like gameplay time included, with like actual like story cutscenes and stuff like that. So one thing I did that I think I'm going to start utilizing more is I looked up the Let's Play of it, or the if you type in like a game and type in movie behind it, usually you'll get one of those videos where it's like all of the cutscenes and all of the canonical dialogue that you see in gameplay strung together in like one long video, or sometimes they'll break them up into 2 parts, just depends on how long the game is. But I looked that up, and I saw that I had about 3 hours left of the Guardians game, and I just watched the rest of the cutscenes on YouTube, and I watched it at like 1.5 speed or something like that, just to kind of see the conclusion of everything that had happened. And honestly, I kind of got the same satisfaction from it. Now, that may not have been the case if I was playing a game that I was like actually really into, or like watching something that I was actually really into. But for this, since I didn't really care that much, I got the same amount of like closure that I would have gotten if I had taken another 6 or 7 hours to finish playing through the game on my own time. And that's something where I'm just like, yo, I used to do that more back before I started getting my own games, and I was missing out on a lot of games because I couldn't buy all of them back then, where I would have to watch Let's Plays. And I'm like, oh, I think for games that start to come out, or TV shows that I don't really care to sit through like 6 seasons of, I think I'll just watch like the recaps or the Let's Plays so that I can get like the general lore. I know it's not the exact same thing as watching the show from episode to episode or sitting down and playing the game for yourself, but that's the point. I want to clear up more space so that I can do that for the games that I genuinely care about, or the stories that I'm like actually emphatically interested in, where it's like, oh no, like this has me enthralled, like I can't wait to sit down and watch the next episode, or play the next chapter, or read the next page. Like, that's the point. It's like it's freeing up the space and the time for those things. So like a few of my friends have been getting into sitcoms again recently for whatever reason. Like some of them went back and watched some sitcoms, and I was watching clips of How I Met Your Mother on YouTube, and I was like, hang on, this show is like, I don't even remember how many seasons it was, but it was like 8 or 9 seasons or something like that. And I'm sure it's a fantastic show. Honestly, from the clips that I watched, it was pretty funny and entertaining. And I was like, oh, this might be something that I would like. But then I was just kind of like, is this one of those situations where the characters take like 15 seasons to get together, and then we only see them actually together for like the last episode of the show? And then I looked into it because I didn't really care that much for the spoilers. And lo and behold, that's exactly what it was. So you know what? I was like, bump this. I'm reading and watching a recap. Because I don't have the energy to give like 9 seasons worth of my time to this show. Even if it's a good show, it's just, I'm not emphatic about it. It's not a heck yeah, so I'm just gonna call it a no. So it's just like, okay, I just watched the recap on YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, that was interesting. Now I know some people are like rolling in their chairs, and I'm probably gonna get like, you know, I get it. I used to be / I'm purging this way out of me right now. Like, when I tell you this feels unnatural, but it's so necessary as time goes on to preserve my free time peace, or my like the time that I have to actually dedicate to the things that I'm interested in. I get it. It's just I don't have as much time to just partake in mediocre. So if you're one of those people who is kind of like, you're finding yourself like overwhelmed by the amount of like things that you want to catch up on, and it doesn't even have to be media consumption. It could be, oh, you're super into building Legos, and this set isn't tickling your fancy. It's like, this is a boring build set. Or, oh, I like drawing or painting, but I don't feel inspired for this particular image, or something like that. It's like, it's okay. Or like, I don't want to finish reading this book because I'm 15 pages in and it just isn't catching me. And I think it's okay to do that. I think you should probably, and this is something that I do as well, give it an honest shot. It's like, okay, let's say you read the first 30 pages of the book. It's like, well, how many do you have to read before you can just say, okay, this isn't clicking for me? Now there's a little bit of a balance with that, because sometimes things are just slow burns. Like, you might have a show where, you know, the first 6 episodes may be good, but they're slow and you have to stick through it. And then once the story really like clicks, it starts going like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. I've watched shows like that in the past. So I think it's one of those things where it's just like, you have to pick and choose which ones you do this with, because it's like, in the back of our heads, I feel like sometimes we tend to think, oh, if I don't finish this, then like I'm a quitter, basically. And and it's crazy that that can happen for something that's not even like real life important, like video games or TV shows. And it's just like, no, you're not. It's like, who are you trying to impress? Now, obviously, I don't think we should just, there are some things in life where it's like, oh no, you need to be disciplined, sit down and finish that, 110%. But I think that's more so preserved for more important things. Unless you're just a freaking hobby hopper, where it's like you've tried 15 or 16 different hobbies in the last 7 months and not one of them clicked for you. You may have commitment issues and you might need to like make yourself lock in on something for a little bit longer of a period of time before you just say, I'm not interested, and move on. But that's a different topic, honestly. But that exists too. But this is solely for things where it's just like, no, I'm just trying to like clear up my free time and make sure that I'm actually able to allocate a good amount of time to things that are actually rejuvenating to me, or things that I'm actually enjoying, as opposed to, well, I just wasted another 2.5 hours on a game that I wasn't even having fun with. It's like, stop doing that to yourself. And I'm speaking to myself when I do this too. I'm still coming out of this. This is very new for me, but it's just one of those things where that was just something I had on my mind that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, it's okay. If you're listening to this, it's okay to DNF that game you don't like. It's okay to stop reading that book that really just didn't click with you after 50 pages. It's okay to abandon that show where it's like, okay, the first 3 seasons were good, but now you're in season 7 and it's just not hitting anymore because the story fell off. You don't owe it to anybody or anything to finish that show, unless you made a bet that you would finish the show with, then you know, hold up your end of the bargain. But like, you know what I mean? But if it's just something where it's like you feel like some weird sense of false loyalty to it, man, let that junk go and go freaking enjoy something that you would actually have a good time playing. Go play Zelda or something like that. Zelda's freaking awesome. Go play a Zelda game. Yeah, go do that. But anyway, I'm about to start rambling, so I'm going to wrap this one up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe today to become a +1. And until next time, God bless.